Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a danheng listener by me. So let's get into it. Hanahaki was one hell of a disease. It was a very rare one, danheng had read, and it was not likely to happen. At least not when we were in the Astral Express. He didn't know what conditions needed to be met. They were extremely vague, as not many people had even had that sickness for proper information to be recorded about it. Danheng was into but not in a morbid way. He was just interested in general, to help prevent it in case things happened. But, most importantly, he knew for hanahaki to happen, someone had to be in love with another, and the love would not be reciprocated. That's what it meant anyway. And the flowers they would cough up would be the other person's favorites. He'd wondered then, if someone loved him and had hanahaki, what flowers they would cough up. And he thought it would most likely be daisies. After all, they were danheng's favorites, amongst bougainvilleas probably, but daisies were his most favorite. They reminded him of peace, of times where he wouldn't have to worry about a thing. And that's why he had picked them as his favorites. But lately, he had felt like something was wrong with you, in a way that worried him. You had not been seeing him as much. In fact, you had gone as far as to avoid him, which was very unusual of you, as most of the time, you preferred to spend your free time together, to be with each other when you could. And the fact that you are avoiding him now, it worried him a lot, and it made him feel like something was wrong. That's why he talked with March, feeling like she could give him some insight on what to do. March, do you feel like you have done something wrong with her? Did I hurt her in any way? He's not usually so emotional or so upset, and for the most part, he may be even relieved that you were just avoiding him, so you could focus on what you wanted to do more. But you're a friend of his, someone whom he cared about a lot, and perhaps even more than a friend. But that was just between him and his heart. And March probably knew about his feelings, but she didn't need to confront him about it. She just observed in silence and saw how things turned out. And this time would be no different, as interested as she was. At least, not until she's confirmed that trying to intervene and help you would be the right choice in this situation. But, alas, she answered this question, shaking her head. No, danheng, I don't know anything about what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with Wayan. I mean, she has been a little sick, but she didn't mention anything about you. I think you'll be alright. You could just go and knock on her door. Ask her to let you in. I don't think it's anything contagious. Well, what if she doesn't want to see me then? Why would you think that? I don't think there's a reason she wouldn't want to see you, unless you know you've done something wrong, she says, crossing her arms and eyeing him carefully, but with the way he shakes his head and looks a little bit worried, she can tell he's just concerned about you and worried that you may not be okay with him now. He may not be the person who usually says his feelings, but even March 7th could tell that he loved you, whether it be as a friend or as something more. Regardless, she was willing to help on that. Leave it to me then, she said bravely, deciding to go talk to you and see how you're doing, only to walk into your room and see you coughing up daisies on the floor. Wayan? Oh no, are you alright? She asks, worried and pale. But you shake your head quickly. trying to gather up the daisies, but it's already too late. She's seen them, and now she knows what's going on. So, she sits down next to you. So you like danheng, don't you? That's why you're avoiding him. March! Don't. Just don't go telling him. Please. Lion, you might die. Do you know how serious this is? I have to tell him. March! You called out, but she immediately left, and you couldn't go even after her because you were coughing. Your chest hurting with the thorns of the flower. And that's when Danheng walked in, seeing the bloodied roses on the floor, and the way you looked so exhausted. He put an arm around you and helped you sit down, concern all over his face. You looked embarrassed, refusing to look him in the eye. But then he mumbled, "So it's true then." "Yeah, it is. Danheng, I promise you don't have to say anything or be in love with me or act like you are. I'll be fine." "You won't be fine, Ryan. Don't you lie to me. I know how this is. But either way, I don't need to lie to you. I do love you. I have. For a long time. Ever since you joined us. And now I at least have a reason to tell you," he said, looking you in the eye as he cupped your face, making you look at him. You were stunned for a little bit. But then, he took the moment to make a move and leaned in to press a soft kiss to your lips. "I love you, Ion, more than anything. So please, just care about yourself a little bit. This time, it went well, but don't avoid me like that or lie to me. I love you more than anything. I can't handle losing you." You find yourself welling up and then laughing softly, tears streaming down your cheeks in happiness. And you wrap your arms around him tightly, burying your face into the crook of his neck as he runs a hand through your hair. You were worried and you were scared, but right now, you felt like you were the luckiest girl in the world because Danheng loved you and there was nothing for you to worry about. Not at all.